Let's turn to South America, where dozens of people have been killed in a fight between rival gangs inside a prison in Ecuador. The public prosecutor's office said in the latest instance of deadly prison violence in the South American nation. Authorities said a fight broke out on Monday between the rival Los Lobos and Arrow 7 gangs inside the Bella Vista prison in Santo Domingo de los Colorados, about 80 kilometers from the capital, Quito. Relatives of those held at the prison gathered outside the facility to try to get information about what happened, while prisoners with facial injuries were taken by truck and ambulance to medical facilities. At least 112 prisoners who tried to escape during the riot were recaptured by security forces inside the prison grounds, while 108 other inmates remained at large. Let's turn to elections in Philippines, where hundreds of protesters surrounded the front of the Commission on Elections headquarters in Intramuros, Manila, to reject the apparent victory of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. as president. They claim the polls were tainted by fraud. We have more in this report.
Elections Commissioner Jorge Garcia, who told reporters he expected a huge turnout, predicted right, as Marcos has sustained an insurmountable lead of over 16 million votes ahead his closest rival, Vice President Leni Robredo. This is according to partial unofficial results from the Complex Transparency server. Despite what appears to be a decisive victory for Marcos Jr., the son of the former dictator who was ousted 36 years ago through the People Power Revolution, some doubt the preliminary result of the elections, primarily due to each's experience during its conduct. Report on the election day, May the 9th, surfaced on social media in relation to vote counting machines breakdown, halting the otherwise smooth conduct of the electoral process. Meanwhile, many aired frustration over complex contingency measures, which include leaving the ballot to batch-fed to the machines, which some suspected as a means to cheat. Complex Commissioner Jorge Garcia clarified that this is part of the contingency plans in place. Others, on the other hand, had to wait long hours for the machines to be replaced since they will be transported from Laguna. Despite this, Commissioner Marlon Casqueje, head of the steering committee of the said polls, reported a swift delivery of replacement and called the other occurrences as isolated incidents that will not affect the integrity of the elections. The protest also came after the release of the partial and unofficial count based on the transparency survey of the Complex, where former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and his running mate Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte are leading the presidential and vice presidential race, respectively.